I'd like to welcome you to Columbia College and to the Columbia Links program, a high school journalism and news literacy program housed here in the college's Communication and Media Innovation Department. And welcome to our 4th annual Town Hall. And we are so pleased that you chose to spend your evening with us to hear about what our illustrious team of teen journalists have to share with you on this extremely important topic of teens and mental illness.
My story takes a look at how ethnic and racial minorities underutilize the services available to them and how that can lead to greater consequences later down the road. When we look at this from a journalistic perspective, we often think that there aren't enough resources available, and some professors or people in the field come back and they say that, well, there's also resources that are being underutilized by these individuals.
More people that are minorities have mental illnesses than people who are non-minority citizens.
Because I guess we feel like we're supposed to be the strong ones and we're kind of embarrassed about it. So we don't report that there's something wrong with us. We don't go to therapists and stuff like that. And then it's like, if you have a child and your child is mentally ill, what happens in the house stays in the house. So that's what we learn. So we don't go outside and talk to other people about our issues that's going on in the house. When really, we should be talking about it because they can help.
My story was about how artists are writing plays trying to reduce the stigma on mental illness.
I'm happy to be a part of something where kids are able to talk about this thing because, I've experienced some mental illness in my family as a child, and it's a lonely feeling to not have anybody to talk about. So it's amazing that they're opening up this conversation for teens, because who else would they be able to talk to?
My story was about how CPS is failing to meet the mental health needs of Chicago Public School students. The most interesting thing that I found was, even though that 20% of children nationwide are diagnosed or undiagnosed with a mental health illness, that Chicago Public Schools is really treating it as a minute problem, when in reality it's one of the biggest problems that kids face today.
My story was about teens selling their ADHD medications. I learned that most of them are selling because their actual medications weren't working for them because they were not properly diagnosed, and also that they were trying to support their families most of the time they were selling.
Why would teens buy ADHD medicine? What does that do for them?
So it's supposed to help you stay more focused, and it's supposed to improve your grades, and in reality it doesn't do that because taking a pill isn't what's going to actually improve your grade, it's studies.
My article was about ministry and the role it plays in mental health.
A lot of people, they won't talk to somebody that's professionally trained in the field. They would rather talk to somebody who is very religious or, per se, a man of God. So they would rather, because I guess closer to the spirit, and they feel more comfortable. So they keep all these things bottled up and they tell it to a person that's probably not giving them the best help that they need.
My favorite part about it was just being able to interview and to sort of engage with the people who are on the front lines doing this work pretty much every day.
Here tonight to share my story of recovery by someone who was living with a mental illness for most of my life. I have to say that recovery is possible. It's just a matter of having the motivation and the drive that you can and you will recover.
I'm excited to finally showcase my work and to show people the true talent that I have to write and to educate people about mental health in the city of Chicago.
Well, my hopes is that this will be another step forward in education, because with any issue, especially mental illness, it's all about educating the public.
People need to learn about mental illness in school. It needs to start at school. Just like we need to have gym and math and stuff like that, we have to have a class about mental illness and psychology just to get us educated.
Mental health is a big issue, and it needs to be talked about instead of hidden, because in talking about things, we're able to work through things together.